Hello, this video will show you how Spark Forms Builder provides you the ability to design multilingual forms in your SharePoint environment. These forms will be displayed for the users depending on their operating systems or browser's preferred languages. Spark Forms supports all the languages that SharePoint supports, whether it is right to left direction or left to right direction. Just design the form in the primary language, and then change the form to the desired new language, updates controls properties, and translate the form's labels and custom messages accordingly. And you will have a multilingual form up and running in minutes. Let's see how to make this form a multilingual form together. I have built this form in the primary language, the English language, as you see here. If you are interested in how to build the form in detail, you can watch the tutorial video listed in the description below. Now we are going to design it in the second language. From the top ribbon, click on the Language button. As we see here, we have a list of languages that are already installed in your SharePoint environment. Select the language that you want. I will select the Spanish language, and select to copy the default language forms design, to use it and just translate it. Now let's open the form template in Spanish. As we see here, the form elements were copied from the default template in the English language. All we have to do is just translate the labels to Spanish. Now we have here the priority lookup control, which displays the list of priority data from the priorities list. As we see here, the priority list displays the items in English. To translate these data, we have to translate them in the list itself, and then retrieve the data in our form based on the display language. In the priority list, we have to enter for each item the description in all the languages that we want to display. Then back to the form template design. Here we are in the Spanish template. From the Lookup control properties, click on the Lookup selector icon. Here the selected field is description in English. We want to change it to the description in Spanish, and the same for any other language. Select the field description in Spanish. Here we have the radio button control. You can easily translate its values. From the control properties, in items property, translate the values to the Spanish language. Then click on Apply button. And you can do the same for any input control, like the drop-down or checkbox controls. One more step is needed here. In this case, when we use the unmapped data source to add the controls value manually, we can't map the controls value directly to the SharePoint field, in order to save it in the SharePoint list alongside the other data. For this case, we need to store the radio button selected value in a form variable first, and then map the form variable with the SharePoint field in order to save the value in the SharePoint list. To learn how to use form variables in detail, you can watch the tutorial video listed in the description below. I have created this variable status, and mapped it with the list column status in SharePoint as you see here. Okay, now, we are going to store the selected status value in it. From the top ribbon, click on the Control Rules. Create a new rule. Modify the rule name. Select Rule Type Action. And apply the rule on change. In the Action text box, add the variable status. From the right panel, Form Variables, add the variable status. Then assign the variable's value. Here we are going to retrieve the radio button selected value, by using the getRadioButton function. From the right panels under Functions, search for getRadioButton. And here it is. As we see here, this function needs the parameter control ID. Select the control ID, radio button status. Then click Save. Let's now publish the form and see how it works. Let's get back to our list. In this case, The browser language is Spanish, so the form will display in the Spanish language. And as we see here, the priority list in Spanish, and the status option in Spanish as well. In the previous cases, the form direction for the English or the Spanish is from left to right. But in some other languages such as Arabic, Hebrew, and Persian, the form direction should be from right to left. Let's create a new template and see how to change the form direction. Again, from the top ribbon, click on the language button. We are going to select the Arabic language. Select copy the default language to a new form template design. Then click on Open. From the form properties, change the form direction to be from right to left, and change the form align to right. Then we are going to rearrange the form elements to fit the new form direction, and then translate the form labels. And the radio button items as we did before. For the lookup control values, we just need to change the field name as we did in Spanish. Let's now publish the form and see how it works. Let's get back to our list. The browser language now is Arabic. As we see here, the form direction switch from left to right to left. And all that data is displayed in the Arabic language. We just watched how it's easy to design multilingual forms with Spark Forms Builder. These forms will be displayed for the users depending on their operating systems or browser's preferred languages. Follow us to learn more about advances used for SharePoint and Spark Forms. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe, and if you have a comment, please write it down. Thank you.